Hey, it's InkdMage, and welcome to my Session 4 Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen recap, DM tips, as well as terrain breakdown on what I do at my table for the adventure. In this session, the characters fought the Dragon Army forces whilst the villagers evacuated on boats that they were going to be taking to Calaman downriver, which in fact did happen. So I didn't change a whole lot to this particular adventure, this portion of it, except I did not include the last boss battle with the Viewmaster Gokul. It was just, my players would have been decimated. They were nearly destroyed by the Boiler Drak, and we'll talk about that. But in the meantime, this was a pretty straightforward adventure. The role-playing came at the point where they made it to Calaman. So let's take a look at the terrain setup I did for this particular encounter. So the battle didn't begin with the Boiler Drak arriving. The characters were on this portion of the street fighting Baz Draconians, and at the point where they defeated them, that's when they heard cries of dragon, dragon, and they had seen at the end of the last adventure a red dragon go flying by, causing ruin to the village, so they were scared that that's what it was. And then they saw this roll around the corner. And so this is a Boiler Drak. It's a WizKids Mini. It's incredible. And it is a gnomish invention. Of course, it wasn't being operated by gnomes. It was being used by the Draconians to cause further destruction. This near-deadly battle became an opportunity for me to bring Jayev, an NPC who is one of the Ironclad Regiment members. He's a lieutenant to Cudgel Ironsmile, show up. He typically in the story shows up at the end of the battle, jumps onto the boat with some dire news, but instead I had him show up early to help dismantle the Boiler Drak, because you needed at least 3 people to operate it each round to get it to belch out a 60-foot cone of fire. Now, this fire actually doesn't come with the Boiler Drak. It broke off from the adult gold dragon mini I have, so I just put it there just because I thought it would look great for flavor. So, for this setup, I really love this Centurion 3D building. Usually I glue my 3D printed buildings together, but there's a lot of playable space, so I left it in layers, and you can take that apart. All the fire tokens are from WizKids spell effects. In addition to some 3D printed buildings, I also have these battle system ruins, which look really good, even though it's cardstock. It fits in nicely with this setup. And I really tried to capture the flavor and flair of this image that's inside the book. And when you look at the map, you know, I really captured the spirit of it. The docks, the stone path, the natural outcropping. The streets are from WizKid Games. These light posts and city dock pieces are from Galadoria Games. I did use some wooden tiles from WizKids Warlock Tiles to make this wooden platform as part of the dock system. This broken piece is a Monster Fight Club Bridges and Barricades. I've got this water mat from WizKids. I've got a bunch of these like barrels and crates from Grabblecast, except for this one is Galadoria Games, as well as these pylons or pilings, however you say that. An assortment of minis here to represent all the townsfolk making their escape. I love these. I love using the walls from Galderay Games Cemetery set, including the broken walls. You can see there. They also made this crumbled statue, which I had melt before the player's eyes under the great first blast from this boiler drac. Let's come around to the other side. All the people fleeing, trying to get into the boat to make their way downriver. Actually, this is a ruined cart from Battle Systems. A bunch of the Fallen minis are from Tiny Furniture, but then there are some, 3D printed ones that aren't resin that I got from Etsy. I really don't know who designed them or even remember which store I got them from. But I really like this setup a lot. It's one of the ones that in my time as a DM adapting, campaigns that were pre-written, that I think I most nailed the setup. And even though it's a really big battlefield, really everything took place on this street and this street. Now I would have had the Viewmaster and his troops attack the players here, but it would have killed them. They were down to temp hit points and very few hit points, and it would have been a slaughter. And it gives me an opportunity to save that big bad for another time, because quite frankly, these Baz, which they had been fighting, in addition to the boiler drac, was sufficient enough. The rest of the game was largely role-playing as they made it to Kalaman and they had to meet with the council, help villagers with difficulties as they were landing along the shore. I did throw in one small battle as they were exploring town, as they rescued a dog from some bullies. And I wanted to do that because my wife is playing a Kender. I have a halfling mounted on a dog, a miniature, we're holding a spear like a lance, and I thought this, and the mini even has a top knot. I was like, boy, this looks like a Kender, so it could be like a Kender with a hoopak. So I was like, let's do this. It turned out to be a funny part in the story, and I'm looking forward to see where that part of the story goes with the dog. If you like this video, I hope you will like, share, and subscribe. Also, follow me on Instagram for some extra XP, and I'll catch you next time.